Welcome to the Book Club Live. I'm Jenny Snow, and I am here today with Erica Vetsch. If you are a longtime listener, you got to see her a little while back with The Lost Lieutenant, which is my favorite Erica Vetsch book. But I have to say this one, our Christmas edition, rivals just because of what it did for me when I read it, at the time that I read it. So, but for those who don't know you, Erica, will you tell us a little bit about yourself and a little bit about this Joy to the World collection?
Sure. I am a native Kansan who married a Minnesotan. So now I live in the beautiful state of Minnesota. I have 2 grown children, no grandkids yet, but maybe someday. And I believe I'm up to book number 42.
Wow.
Published. Yes.
Wow.
So the Joy to the World collection actually was the suggestion of my editor. She wanted to get 3 of her authors together to write Regency Christmas novellas, and it's based on the hymn, the Christmas carol, Joy to the World. And one of the things that I learned when I was researching it was that Joy to the World was not originally intended to be a Christmas carol. It's a hymn of the second coming of Christ.
Okay.
But it applies to both, the first and second coming. So she asked us to choose as our title a line from the hymn. And so I chose Wonders of His Love because I love a good romance. And the story that I wrote is actually a spinoff from that series that began with The Lost Lieutenant. So I took a secondary character and I wanted to give her happily ever after because I was kind of mean to her in the series. I mean, she had a hard road, so I wanted to give her a happily ever after. And I love happy Christmas.
Yeah.
Right. And so it was very easy to tie those things in. And when you have free reign to do what you want, why not choose a handsome Scottish portrait painter to come and bring some joy into her life?
Very romantic themes. So, I loved it. So I read this book. Okay, so a little bit about me. I read very few actual paper novels anymore. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. It just seems like I'm doing mostly Audible. But this is a book that I took on a trip that was a very good trip, but I really expended myself on this trip. And by the end of it, I was completely drained and tired. And I even had to stay an extra night because my flight was like delayed or something or canceled. And so, but it was such a blessing because I got to stay in a hotel room and I cried because that's what I do when I'm really tired. I prayed, I read my Bible, and then I got this out. And I just read right through it. All of the stories were beautiful. I loved the tie-in to the Christmas Carol, Joy to the World. Mm-hmm. It's Heaven and Nature Sing is the first one. Far as the Curse is Found is the second. And Wonders of His Love is the third. So I just adored each and every story. And one thing I get to do is I'm a part of a secret book club, I guess you could call it, that it's not my book club, but I am in it. And we meet every Christmas, once a year, and we do a Christmas novella, and we don't take pictures. We come in our pajamas, we bring some food, and we just talk about the book and talk about our lives. I highly recommend it. It's one of the highlights of my year. And so that year, I knew that this is going to be the book we would read, and we all loved it. Everybody had a different favorite. So just the whole thing is solid. And didn't this win some awards?
Both Amanda Barrett's story and mine were nominated for Christie's, and Amanda Barrett won.
Okay.
And awesome. Wholly deserved. Her story is so beautiful.
Well, so was yours. In fact, I thought all 3 were just phenomenal, if I can say that word. Oh, and by the way, behind us, we are at the Mississippi River Readers Retreat. So we're recording this with a little Christmas in July.
Yes.
But we're going to release it close to Christmas time. So that's what I wanted our conversation to be about. I wanted to recommend this book if you have the same habit. I know my mother-in-law would always buy a Christmas novella at Christmas time, and I've adopted that habit as well. So this is a really good one. And so let's just talk about Christmas. One thing I want to ask is, as a young woman, Christmas was just awesome. It was Christmas. I just go buy a few presents for my family, and it's just the most wonderful time of the year. But as I've gotten older, the responsibility of Christmas has grown with each addition to the family and each addition to, how many teachers my kids have and just all of that. So I really do relate to the the people that tell you not to stress about Christmas and to put the Lord first. It's all about him. And so I have to really keep that in mind a lot more, or it becomes very stressful and demanding and just like, whew.
Yes.
But I also do want to put in the work to make it special. So do you deal with any stress at Christmas time? And how do you come at Christmas to make sure that you are celebrating what it's all about, which is the birth of Jesus, but also making it what you want to be for your family?
I think for us, it started out with, even when our kids were very small, there's a reverence and a respect about Christmas. So it isn't just a free-for-all of opening packages, right? We delay the gift giving part on Christmas. We have the tradition of, we have Christmas waffles. I don't know, it got started because I got a waffle iron for Christmas one year. And so everybody knows you're going to get up in the morning, we're going to share a meal together. And it's always Christmas waffles. And then we're going to sit down and we are going to read the Christmas story from Luke chapter 2. And we're going to pray. We want to be thankful for the reason that we're celebrating Christmas. And I feel like by slowing that down and not making the gifts the priority, it has helped us. And then we always take turns, one at a time, opening gifts.
We are very similar. We do the exact same, not the Christmas waffles.
Maybe you should start it because it's amazing.
Maybe I will. But the meal changes every year, so maybe this year we'll do waffles. But we do the same thing. We read Luke 2. We talk about what we're thankful that the Lord has done. We pray and we open the presents one at a time because, it's an expression, God gave his gift of Jesus to us and Jesus, offered his life. And so we're giving gifts in that same vein. And, we want to take time to really just enjoy it. It's so much fun to see everybody open their presents and what you've thought of for them. So that's good. I love that for Christmas morning. We also have decided in my extended family, I have a very large family, and we all, anyways, we've decided this year we're going to pare it down and make it a little bit more simple. So I think that's going to also take some stress off. So what, just for fun, I would love to know, what is your favorite thing to get out at Christmas time, or a favorite ornament that is special to you?
I collect nativity sets.
Okay.
I love all sorts. I have wooden ones, I have porcelain ones, I have quilted little soft ones.
Did you make it or did you buy it?
My mother gave it to me as a gift.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have little pottery ones. I think at last count I had something like 18 different ones. And so it's actually become a tradition with my daughter. The weekend after Thanksgiving, usually that Saturday, we get those all out together. You remember who gave them to you and what you like, because they're special because you only see them once a year, for a little while, so you don't get bored looking at them. But
so it's after Thanksgiving in your house?
The weekend after Thanksgiving, and then they stay up until the week between Christmas and New Year's, because we have a big New Year's open house, and I need the space that the Christmas tree takes up. So those usually come down. But I love to put white lights around them, and then you turn off all the lights and just kind of remember those. So that's one of my favorite Christmas traditions.
I like that. So we have one that's not that, but it does have to do with nativity scenes. I love nativity scenes. I have one that's in the house, actually, just one, and plus a little snow globe one. So I guess two. I'm counting them both. But on Christmas Eve, so we will get dressed up and go to church, and we'll have our Christmas Eve service. And I love the candle lighting. And we actually do Joy to the World. I think if I'm remembering right. We've been at that church for a few Christmases. So. But I remember thinking, my old church did Silent Night for Christmas Eve, and this one does Joy to the World. And I love them both. But so after Christmas Eve, we will service, we'll go home and change into our pajamas, and I usually try to make cookies for the neighbors. Last year I didn't make them for all of the neighbors, but there's one next door neighbor that just oohed and awed over them so much, and they said they don't really bake anymore, so we've got to make them cookies. But then we get in the car and we bring our cookies. So we all have our own little thing of cookies, and we go around just driving around looking at lights, and we count all the nativity scenes that we find. So it's like, are we going to beat the record, And it's so much fun. And we're in our pajamas, and it's just nice and relaxed. So that's one of our favorite things that the kids have really looked forward to, and that came from my parents.
I think it's lovely when you establish those traditions for your kids, and then you see your own kids carry those on.
Yeah.
That is such a special thing, because you know that they're associating good things with it.
Yes.
So yeah. I love that.
And that came from, we would drive around on the way home from church.
Yes. After the Christmas Eve service.
Yeah, no one really planned it. We were just we would go to all the rich houses or the nice ones and just find all the lights. Yes. So for my last question, Erica, I want to ask you, what traditional movies do you like to watch at Christmas time? What are your favorites?
And my whole family knows it cannot be Christmas if I have not watched the 1950s version of A Christmas Carol with Alistair Sim, and then a more recent one, The Man Who Invented Christmas.
I have not seen that one yet.
I love it. It's fantastic, especially for a writer.
Okay.
It hits all the writer places, and your spouse who may not be a writer looks at you like, is that what's really going on in your head? And you say, yes, it really is.
Okay, I'm going to watch it with my husband then.
It's a delightful movie. Okay,
awesome. Thank you so much for that. I am always on the lookout for something good to watch. It's hard to find sometimes. So I like to watch Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. I know that doesn't sound like not on Christmas Day, but just sometime during winter. I don't know why, but we would always watch that. And another movie, I'll mention it here. It might not be politically correct anymore, but it's this old movie by, it used to be on like Turner Classic Movies, but it was with Gene Crane, and it's called Margie. And it's about this. I've heard of that. You can find it on YouTube. They took it off YouTube, but then it was back on, so you can go look it up. It's very old, but it's this high school girl who thinks of herself as very adult, but she gets into all these embarrassing scrapes, a lot of them having to do with her slip coming unpinned at the worst times. And I'll just let you know in case this really bothers you. But there's the handsome new French teacher, and they may or may not end up together in the end. Wow. So that would not be cool today, but that was way back then. So different times. But so those are two movies that I enjoy. And I recently just saw It's a Wonderful Life for the first time last Christmas. I know, somehow I
that one's a real, I have to be in the mood because it's a long movie.
Very long, yes. I appreciated it. I'm glad I saw it. But actually a movie, this is one that you will love, I think, if you have kids especially. It's called The Christmas Project, and you can get it on Amazon. It is such a feel-good family movie. It's these three boys, brothers. They're in competition. I think there's three. There could be four possibly. But such a good family movie. You're going to laugh, and then you're going to laugh and laugh some more. And it has a really sweet message. So
The Christmas Project.
The Christmas Project on Amazon. Yes.
Great.
All right. Well, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and I hope your family is well, and that you really enjoy the Christmas season and all that Jesus has done for us. And thank you for tuning in. Be sure and like the show, and if you would consider leaving a review for the Book Club Life. And make sure you also head over to Erica's Facebook page, and you want to join her Inspirational Regency Readers group on Facebook. It is so fun. Very low requirements of participating, but lots of fun things to vote on, and just be with your Regency-minded friends. All right. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.